Catherine to Anne, and we'll go down the line.
All right. Hopefully I can stir the pot a little bit here. For better or worse, women continue to be stereotyped as the emotional sex. And so how do you encourage an emotion-based type of therapy to a world still heavily dominated by men in leadership roles? Like, has there been resistance? I mean, I know your company seems very pro this type of business emotion intelligence, but I can imagine there would be some skepticism.
We're an industry of we're a company with thousands of men as well.
Yeah,
so
no,
It's going to be an
it's very
interesting question.
interesting.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yes.
So we're going to come like how you would get those guys out in the field to buy into this. But Anne, your answer.
I can answer this in a number of different ways, because my experiences as a consultant and working in organizations, we tend to be hired more by men than we do by women. And again, it's one of those things where women believe that they are more emotionally developed and more empathetic, and so I think therefore I am. It's not necessarily the case, and it's been proven that men are more likely to mentor other men than women will mentor women. And so women may lead the field, for example, in empathy and things of those nature, but rational empathy, which is a very different thing, men are more competent in that arena. So men will recognize the need. In my own experience, men will recognize the need for it, and they'll come at it from a cognitive perspective, wanting to learn all about it, wanting to understand what it means to the bottom line, just not coming in and teaching them how to be emotional, you see. It's the impact on the bottom line, whereas women, as business leaders, are more likely to come in and try and resolve problems in the relationships in the workplace.
Okay, Angela?
Yeah, so I'd agree with that. You might have to take some different strategies to engage people, different people, on this topic. But I think at the end of the day, if you're clear in your organization that this is an important competency, this is an important thing you have to have, male or female, and we can come at it many different ways. You have to make people understand it's important. In our organization, we have more women than men. So I don't know if that makes any difference in terms of receptivity. But I think most of the men that I talk to are in leadership positions. They understand the need for this. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to get better performance out of our organization. And if you have strategies that will do that, people will absolutely take advantage of it.
Okay, Sean?
Yeah, you didn't stir up the pot very well. The
Good try.
yeah, so my wife would tell you that I'm an expert at motivating men, not women. But from the perspective of my organization, it's as Angela said, we're just trying to get the most out of our teams as we can. It's interesting that men hire into the idea more often, perhaps because it's perceived as a blind spot for male managers. But it's all about trying to get more out of the resources, out of the team, and recognizing that there's more to it. Plus, from my experience working, managing across teams, it's less of a diversity based on gender and more of actually a diversity based on cultures, which brings that diversity, which means it's even more important to sink in and be aware so you can get the most out of resources.
What do you mean by cultures? Give us an example.
Well,
organization. Just because I know you mean like nationally?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so across, it's vastly different dealing with Latin America versus North America. Even within Latin America, there's a lot going on there.
Okay.
So.
Very good. Okay, I want to go.